But here to help us break it all down, we bring in Republican Congressman from New Jersey, Jeff Van Drew. Thank you, as always, Congressman, for joining us. Look, do you think the DOJ will take this referral seriously? It appears every time we try to place our faith in the Department of Justice to do the right thing, to follow the facts wherever they lead, politics appears to get in the way.
Should they take it seriously is the first question, of course. Will they take it seriously? That remains to be seen. I personally am highly doubtful. We still must go through this process. These are serious issues, and we have what we've known. We've known for a while now as we went through this impeachment inquiry, which, being on judiciary, I was part of. Chairman Jim Jordan led that effort, and the more that we dug in, the more we found out. What do we know? We know that Jim Biden received money from a failed healthcare corporation, and we don't even know why, other than they said they were using his name to help them in their company's efforts to gain stability. They got information that showed as soon as he got a payment from that healthcare corporation, he then made a payment directly to Joe Biden. We know that Joe Biden met with a Russian oligarch. After that, $5 million went into their account. We know that in total, that the Biden family and associates have received over $10 million from different sources. We know that Joe Biden was on phone calls with Hunter Biden to Burisma, also a failed energy company out of Ukraine. And Joe Biden said he was only on those calls to talk about the weather. We know better than that. So we know there are real issues, and now we've found substantive proof that they were lying during the impeachment inquiry, that Hunter Biden wasn't telling the truth, that Jim Biden wasn't telling the truth, all in order to shield Joe Biden. And you know what really kind of clarifies all this even more? Just to think about the classified documents that were taken. President Trump took classified documents. He was president. He had the right to declassify them. He kept them in a secure area. Joe Biden, while he was a senator and a vice president, took classified documents, not allowed to do it, just like I'm not allowed to do it, then put them in an old dilapidated box in a garage next to a collapsed dog kennel, then used those documents as part of a book that he was writing, gave to a ghost writer for himself, received $8 million for the book. That's what it's all about.
You know, it's really crazy you bring that up, because I'm still old enough to remember when, on the eve of the 2020 election, when we started hearing about the laptop from hell, and we had perhaps every publicly known member of the intelligence apparatus, retired but also still with that clearance, go out there and sign a letter and say that the entirety of the laptop's contents were Russian disinformation. And now we have the son, who is now in a courtroom with the laptop from hell being used as evidence, credible, in a U.S. court of law. All of this puts a significant blemish on the Department of Justice. And that's before we get to the fact that it's quite clear the president has been hiding the truth from the American people. I mean, how many times have we heard him say he had no business dealings with his son? Just take a listen. I want to get your response.
On the board of that company. I've never discussed my business or their business, my sons or daughters. I did my job. I never discussed a single thing with my son about anything having to do with Ukraine. No one has indicated I have. We've always kept everything separate. I have never discussed with my son or my brother or anyone else anything having to do with their businesses, period.
How much evidence is required for people to at least acknowledge that something smells rotten in Denmark? I mean, we've got the emails at the National Archives. We've got the White House logs that actually document the meetings of the business associates with the father, and the father in the emails being referenced by the son. How deep does this have to go before the press will even acknowledge we're not all tinfoil hat wearing lunatics? The president has conducted himself in a manner that requires us to dig deeper.
That's what's scary about all this. What's scary is that the media is protecting, not all the media, not you, but the media, in large part, the legacy media, is protecting the president, that we don't hear the truth. And that's what really worries me. And you know what else worries me? Not only is it the media, not only is it the educational system, high school, colleges and universities, not only is it so many different levels, the intel community. I remember what you're speaking of. There were over 50 former intelligence officers that said that laptop, that none of it was true. It was bogus. It wasn't real. Now we know that it is. So why would we wonder when American people are concerned? We really need to clean this up. That's why this election is so important. We need an intelligence community that protects us against the bad guys, not an intelligence community where we need protection from them. Absolutely. It's a sad day in America.
Absolutely. Couldn't say it better myself. Congressman Jeff Van Drew, always a pleasure, my friend. God bless. We'll talk soon.
Thank you. Good to be with you.